What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Gilly the Guru, coming live from the PrizePicks, episode 20. Coach G, what up?
2020, huh?
2022, and we made it,
Yeah,
man.
that's high. We made it to 20. That's dope.
Yeah, man. You know, today we actually got a special guest in the house. CEO and owner of Dtension Fitness, Salinas, will be joining us today for an in-studio interview. Our first guest ever, Coach G.
Yeah, man. Looking forward, man.
So you just told me that you hit on some PrizePicks, man. What's that about?
Well, man, I was just about to say about how, man, sports are kind of lovely right now because, like, we got Wimbledon for the last two weeks. Got one more week of it, you know. So early in the morning, there's already heavy going matches on it, you know. So, yeah, I just been figuring out like the a couple tennis ones, the fantasy tennis player and what was the other one? How many games they're gonna play or whatever.
Yeah. And
they've been hitting. And who else also has been money too is on the other side of what has been lovely is just the Phillies pitchers. You know, you go to their fantasy pitchers, you know, if are there strikeouts in a game, they're easily covering, dude.
Yeah.
You know, if it's Ranger Suarez, if it's Lazardo, if it's Zach Wheeler. I always get that other guy. He's going tomorrow against San Francisco, another Latin lefty. They're always striking out 7 to 10 guys, and you even just go over the easy under 5.5. Those are hitting, you know. So yeah, man, just chilling, watching Zach Wheeler. Man, he almost had a damn near perfect game. He gave up one hit, and the one hit was a home run.
Yep.
And then so it's 12 batters in a row, home run, 12 batters in a row, or however many after that. But I was just thinking, I mean, Paul Skeens being so dope, is it a lock for Skeens? Does Zach Wheeler have a chance to maybe get a Cy Young? You know?
I would think he would because, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to have wins on your record, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to. Paul Skeens always takes losses.
Not
always takes losses, but because he has no support.
Right.
You know what I mean? And is that kind of fair in a way? Not really, but I mean, at the same time, that's what it comes down to, right? I mean, that's part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of the game. You got to be really dominant. Felix Hernandez, right?
Yep.
Seattle Mariners, I think, was maybe one of the last dudes with a shitty record, but probably low ERA. So that's the only thing I'm thinking of him. He would get it, you know? So I don't know. I mean, Wheeler, 35, 36-year-old dude, and Skeens being so young, that'd be dope if Zach Wheeler could just keep going this strong, man. Because, I mean, it's pretty damn dominant. I mean, he was just blowing it by these dudes, man.
Yeah.
It was like 8th, 9th inning, trotting them out there, and it would just fastball right down the middle, and they couldn't even catch up to it.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't even aware that he was actually having a game like that until you text me.
Yeah.
And then I went back and looked at the stats of 108 pitches on over 9 innings. Like I said, the average out to 12 pitches an inning, basically. It's fucking dominant. You know what I mean? 12 Ks?
12 Ks, yeah. So I went 5.5. I went over, so that easily covered.
Yeah.
And then I just needed Alcaraz or Carlitos to have 27 fantasy, and how they figure that out is how they figured it out.
Yeah.
You know, and he covered with 32.
Yeah.
So that was a quick little come up. So, but yeah, man, freaking Wimbledon's going strong right now. Is the part where it's like semifinals and shit. So all those games are going to get a little bit more exciting. But yeah, man, it's dope. It's dope, man.
Yeah, you know, it's actually a really exciting time for sports right now. A lot of things are popping off right now. Football's about to come back. Yeah. I mean, NBA just ended, but I mean, free agency's been going crazy right now. Yeah. A lot of pieces getting moved everywhere. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see all these different free agents and moves.
I have the damn thing on my phone, and I'm getting shit from ESPN all day long about everyone's extending.
Yeah.
Everyone's extending. Warriors haven't done nothing, huh?
I think they actually lost Looney on their team. I mean,
did he? So
yeah, he's gone.
He's just on the block now.
No, he went to New Orleans.
That's a come up right there, man.
He signed over there with New Orleans.
I always wonder why he never got paid. Did he get a good deal?
I believe it's a 4-year deal or a 3-year deal, but
3 year. Let me see, like 75 mil. Did he get that much?
You know, I'm not sure exactly what the number was, but I was actually surprised what that number was.
40 mil would be kind of fucked up.
No,
80 mil would be dope.
I think lightweight did get paid.
That's dope.
Yeah. So, but actually, that kind of surprised me though. But I mean, sometimes like when I want to watch Looney, he a 3-time champ.
3-time champ. You know.
Yeah.
And I wonder why he hasn't gotten like that love of just being, you know, that dude that's just gonna go and get paid.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Actually, Georgie hit me up and he was like, the Warriors getting rid of Jordan Poole was horrible. Or it was something to that extent.
Yeah.
But as I said, the only reason why they got rid of him because during the playoffs he only averaged 10 points a game.
Yeah.
That wasn't cutting it for them.
Yeah, I thought Jordan Poole sucked. I didn't think he was gonna be the guy that they were gonna pay, you know. And then they ended up paying him because he went on a good little run. But I didn't think that was gonna be the guy they passed the torch.
Yeah.
You know.
Like after Curry leaves,
maybe
like he was
maybe
the guy.
Like in the back, they were like Draymond was just like, you know, I'm gonna just fucking pick a fight with him. You know, I'll do it. You know what? You don't want to. I know you guys don't want to eat this dude's contract. Let me just fucking go pick a fight with him. Make this horrible fucking locker room situation, and you know, he has to get traded.
Yeah,
because he's been boo boos ever since, right? Nothing special.
The Draymond punch to the face.
Washington. That's crazy because the dude, the number 3 pick, Ace Bailey, wanted to go to Washington, and that would have been his teammate, right?
Yep. Well, actually, Poole's gone now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's out of Washington. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's.
But any big moves? What are the big moves? Anything special? Or?
There hasn't really been anything really big. I mean,
yeah, the Lakers got their big guy, right? That was a big move.
Ayton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
is this like 8 and 5 years ago though? Because 8 and 5 years ago, it was like, man, this kid's gonna be dope with Lillard, right?
Yeah. I don't know. You watch him play, and he's like, he gives 50-50. You know what I mean? Maybe going to a team like the Lakers now will have a different mindset because now it's like championship or bust, right? Every year for the Lakers, kind of championship or bust, right?
Yeah.
Because especially right now where they have LeBron and Luka, they have to go compete for a title, right?
Yeah.
And they needed a center, and Ayton was the guy that got bought out of his contract.
So they'd rather have Ayton than Looney. Yeah. But Ayton was probably cheaper, maybe.
He was probably. I don't know if the details actually came out yet on his contract, but they tried to get Brook Lopez. I mean, he's older, but I mean, they tried to get him from Milwaukee, but he ended up signing with the Clippers. So Ayton was basically the only guy left out there.
The Lopez twins.
I can't believe they're still in the league.
Are they both still there?
I know, just one of them. Either one of them's gone, but
are they champions?
Do
you think the Gasol brothers hate the Lopez brothers?
No way. Who do you think's a better pair?
It's got to be the Gasols, right?
It's be the Gasols, right?
Yeah. Pau Gasol and Mark Gasol, right?
Yep.
Mark Gasol didn't do nothing.
He was decent though.
Yeah, he wasn't. But Pau Gasol was the one that ended up going to the Lakers.
Won 2 championships with Kobe.
Yeah, with Kobe.
Yeah. Do you think that's why Marc Gasol will be like cemented like in Laker history because he won championship with Kobe?
Yeah.
Or do you think he was actually had the skill set like he was respected like that?
No, it was because he went with Kobe. That was Pau Gasol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all because of like, man, this guy out of here. And then once he was with Kobe, I think he got a little love, right?
Yeah, that's.
And Brook Lopez and what's his other guy? What's the brother's name? The other one?
Brook and. That's
crazy. We don't even know the brother's name.
That's how much he sucked. They went to Stanford though, right?
Yeah. Did they win? Did he win a championship?
It
wasn't Robin Lopez.
Robin?
Brook and Robin. That's crazy.
I want to say Brook did win in Milwaukee with Giannis, right? Or no? Or was that after? Or did he come after?
I would fail that. I don't even know.
Oh my God.
It's Brook and Alex Lopez.
Alex
Lopez?
I
never thought that.
I thought he had a different name.
Alex Lopez, you think?
Oh my God.
Twin brother. Oh, it is Brook and Robin. Yeah, Brook and Robin Lopez.
Is it?
Yeah, the identical twin.
Robin Lopez. Why do I don't remember that?
I don't know, but it just rolled off my tongue.
It just seemed right, huh? Right. That's fucking crazy.
Damn.
You know what? It was actually a question I want to ask you last week. Aaron Rodgers being on the Steelers. There's so much hype about that right now, with them having DK and that whole team. They went all in, got Jalen Ramsey now.
Yeah.
Do you see this being a good team over there in Pittsburgh?
I mean, we've been seeing this in football our whole lives, and there are like 0-22 of us seeing this type of team,
Would you call it a super team?
Maybe like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I feel like these teams are good now.
Let me redirect this question. Has there ever been a real super team in the NFL?
I mean, those Seattle teams were good. Niner team's been good,
Would you say that Randy Moss and Brady was a super team?
Yeah, that team.
Did Moss
the Eagles team when they had like Vince Young as their backup and they had McNabb and Dawkins and freaking the whole there you got loaded that one year. Still drawing a blank, but like Nabni Asamoah joined the team.
He wasn't that great with the Eagles, huh?
Nah, it was a scheme maybe. I don't know.
He was a man coverage machine, and they had him playing high 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just even thinking too, like what was one of the best like Super Bowl teams? You would go to the Super Bowl teams that won. That would qualify as like the super teams, right? And in the past, like right now, like what's that team on Madden you want to play all the time? Like if I was an Eagles fan, why wouldn't you want Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown with Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley and freaking a Cooper DeJean as your on defense?
Defense, yeah.
That's probably the closest thing in a minute.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because did Randy Moss being on that Patriot team make that a super team?
Shit. It's hard
because you got to think of who else do they have.
Yeah, I think so because it's like they're the Patriots that they're invincible.
Yeah.
And they don't need to go and do that. They could just win with their formula. And now that they got, that's like them going to go get like a Brian Urlacher joins the team.
Yeah.
Or, someone like that, an all-pro first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
If
you were to have one safety and you had to choose between Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, who you picking?
I'm going to go with Brian. Brian Dawkins is like my favorite player, so probably Dawkins.
Dawkins?
I think Ed Reed would probably win the vote, right? Because he's taking it to the house.
His pick sixes. I was watching his highlight tape the other day, and he ran back so many interceptions, and his coverage was fucking awesome too. Like all around, like both of them. I mean, Dawkins had those hits though. Yeah, like, he had receivers.
Ed Reed, did he have a guy like next to him? Like, did he have a dope ass dude that was right next to him as their other safety?
I can't think off the top of my head.
Because that's why it just even says like when you have a guy like Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, who was the guy up front? Saragossa. So they always had one of those dudes. Mm-hmm. And don't you think, like, as long as you have those three as your captains, as your leaders, as kind of holding it down, when guys come and go, as long as you have those three, these other guys are filling the gaps, right? Yeah, that's how I feel,
Yeah.
Because, like, with Philadelphia, how their defense, they lost a lot of guys. They all went to other teams. But I think as long as you have your Jalen Carter up front, you have your Zach Bond as your middle linebacker, you have your corners, and then hopefully you could just add to it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're going to see this year, but, I was thinking if the Dolphins didn't fuck that up with Vic Fangio, Eagles defensive coordinator, do the Eagles win a Super Bowl? He got kicked out of there because the defense didn't want to roll with his scheme. It was like he was making them practice too hard.
Yeah.
It was, let's get this old dude out of here. And then Philly landed him, bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's another defensive coordinator. Because I feel like it was just, you had all the talent there, but defense was their problem the year before.
Yeah.
Remember they went on that 6-game losing streak? I thought about that. It's like, man, that guy deserves a raise.
Yeah.
I hope that guy just retires in Philly as the coordinator. Like, no one gives them a head coaching job. And if they do, they just pay. Like, I wonder how that works for coaches.
I think a guy like him doesn't want to be a head coach. He's so
right. Yeah, he's at that part of his career.
Yeah, he has to deal with so much other bullshit. Like and why would he want to leave a coach like Sirianni?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're both on the same page.
Where he's gonna rely. Sirianni's gonna rely on this dude's knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know he don't gotta. It's like being a foreman, right?
Yeah.
You gotta do all kinds of other different paperwork. Got to deal with all the other shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I talked to foremen before. They're like, oh, I'd rather just be a regular worker.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of saying head coach.
And that's probably where he's at. Huh?
Yeah. I don't want to deal with the bullshit. I just want to come to work every day, do my job with these kids, develop them, and boom, that's it. So I mean, yeah. If I was at that stage of my career as a coach like that, I wouldn't want to be a head coach.
Yeah.
Let me fucking just run my shit and get the hell out of here.
So clutch, man.
Yep.
So clutch. It made a lot of dudes money, man.
Yeah, oh hell.
From Zach Bond, from being a defensive end type guy to being a middle linebacker.
Yeah. From
all those dudes like Oren Burks that came in, special teams guy came in because our linebacker got injured on that Packer game. He goes in there and goes on a playoff run. He ends up getting paid somewhere. And I was asking Woohoo Man and those guys, like, yo, because he was the backup. He was one of the Niner guy.
Yeah.
And I guess he had a horrible playoffs. They dropped him. He got paid. You know, the guy that they didn't sign, they couldn't sign. I feel like it was that defensive tackle. I forgot his name right now. Drawing a blank. He got paid. He's getting a lot of dudes paid.
Yep.
And going back to the Steelers, one of the guys who didn't like the way, Vic Fangio coached is Jalen Ramsey.
Yep.
Going to the Steelers.
Yep.
So how's that going to work? Old school Steelers. Not the Steagles. Don't you ever send me that shit again. Don't you ever send me that shit again.
Did you like that, though?
Yeah, I thought this fucking guy. God.
The Steagles.
That is unfucking real, isn't it?
Yeah, the Steagles.
Yeah.
The Steelers and the Eagles joined because of World War II, baby. I seen that fact, and I was like, I got to send this to George. Like, what if he knows about the Steagles?
That is insane. Speaking of the Steelers and the Eagles, what about the Battle of the Bay? I was watching something, and Severino hates it over there.
And over
you know how horrible the A's owner is?
Oh, yeah.
So listen how horrible the
fucking dirtbag.
Like, if you think about it, like, top 2 contracts of Dodgers off the top of your head. Like, obviously, Shohei Ohtani, you're like $700 million. Right? And then whoever else. Yeah. It's probably something high.
Yeah, like Mookie is more like $300K.
$300K.
Or $300 million or whatever it is.
Anything like that. So that list probably goes crazy.
Yeah.
And like, let's say the Phillies, Trey Turner, it's 300 for 10 years. You want to know what the A's top 5 highest contracts are?
Isn't Severino number 1?
He is now number 1. But before that, since 2004, we just talked about him the other fucking day, is Eric Chavez.
Really?
6 years, $66 million. So he was the leader until Shohei Ohtani's $700 million. Dude, this is unreal. It's unreal. So Chavez was 1, and then they went whatever Severino 67 just so he can be number 1, because that's the thing right now that they're on due because you don't spend money.
Yeah, they have to spend. They're trying to make them spend money. Then they give somebody else a little bag too?
I had the top 5 guys right here. It is ridiculous. It went after that, Eric Chavez, Cespedes, 4 years, $36 million. Chris Davis, 2 years, $33 million. And I think Cahill. What was Cahill? Pitcher? I don't remember what Cahill.
Yeah, he was a pitcher, I believe.
5 years, $30 million. Those are the top 5 highest contracts in Oakland A's history.
That's crazy. That's absolutely.
And Severino hates pitching at Sacramento. He's like 0-6.
That's why I asked you. Do you think I asked you a couple pods ago, do you think the A's ownership is gonna fucking just say one day, you know what, let's change this shit? Or do you think it's gonna be a dirt ball?
They gotta get that dirt ball out of there. Because that guy's just showing right there, like, yo, I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
Whatever way I can make money.
All right, Coach G, we'll go to a quick break. Then we'll come back and with the interview with Mr. Daniel Salinas, Dtension Fitness himself.
Yeah, I'm in that old school Chevy and I pull up at the light. Got the music banging, feeling kinda right. I see my nigga, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I'm in that old school Chevy and I pull up at the light. Got the music banging, feeling kinda right. I see my nigga, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, I'm in that full 40 Oldsmobile, golden rally stripes. Custom candy paint with the custom fitted pipes. Double leather stitching with the amber marker lights. With them gold flake chip shit reflecting off that white. Big block engine, airbag suspension. That wood grain trim, armor all with the protection. Moving through the city like I'm 57 Freddy. Put 160 on the dash like a Mario and Andretti. Big box whipper, big dog tipper. Fifth wheel lifter, cognac sipper. Leaning sideways when I slide to the beat. Showing love to the city when I ride through the street. I'm in that old school Chevy and I pull up at the light. Got the music banging, feeling kinda right. I see my nigga, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I'm in that old school Chevy and I pull up at the light. Got the music banging, feeling kinda right. I see my nigga, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Yeah. Deuces run wild, Northern Cali style. Bows with the Zeniths, I aim to be the cleanest. Any given Sunday, catch me out in the wind. I hit the corner slow with the gold kick spin. Feeling for the win, you know I talk my shit. Hit the gas 2 times and I walk my bitch. Then I lost my bitch, but them handles is A1. Skills behind the wheel, you know I'm ill from day one. Later I play some, maybe I ride slow. Something about the top, damn, it's damn near a man though. Looking at you sideways, I'm almost a fan though. But I'm the one that made you so.
Yeah, I'm in that old school Chevy and I pull up at the light. Got the music banging, feeling kinda right. I see my nigga, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I'm in that old school Chevy and I pull up at the light. Got the music banging, feeling kinda right. I see my nigga, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
What's going on, everybody? That was the sounds of Richie Evans featuring Be Legit. New record called What's Happening. Coach G, we got our first guest, Daniel Salinas, in the house.
What up, Gil? What's up, Coach George?
Hell yeah.
How you doing, D?
I'm chilling, man. I'm doing good. I'm actually, I'm honored to be here, bro. Like,
yeah.
It's a big deal to me, you know?
Yeah, no, it's a big deal to us. This is actually the first guest we ever had. You know, talking to Coach G, we were just saying, you know, you helped a lot within our community. Us personally with some of our family members themselves. And we thought we'd like to shed some light on what you do, man, and how you helped out a lot of other people.
Yeah, appreciate that, Gil. Yeah, man, I've been rocking since 2009 now.
2009?
So if you think of it, that's 16 years, bro.
That's a minute, man.
A little bit of longevity, huh?
Hell yeah. Dude, well, every time, like, I take a walk, like, especially a long walk,
yeah,
I definitely think about you, man. You know, like, just like the time we took that long-ass walk in Diego.
I fucking hated that walk.
It just seemed so close, right? But it was probably a good 2-mile walk.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what, the neighborhood of Great America? Like, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
You know, you know what? Like, hey.
That was
just got
it was hot too.
Courage to do it.
It wasn't really that hot, but I think for me, I was wearing flip flops.
Yeah.
I was wearing slides that whole fucking walk, so that killed me, man. That killed me.
So I was thinking about you yesterday because we went on a little trip to. Have you ever been to that spot, Henry Cowell Park?
Nah, never heard of it.
So it's pretty dope. It's pretty tight. It's in San Lorenzo, Felton, Scotts Valley area.
Scotts Valley,
right?
It sounds familiar.
And it has the big ass redwoods, right? Wanted to go to Yosemite, typed in redwoods, boom, took me to Santa Cruz, right? And it was a quick little trip, and freaking wanted just to take a little hike, check out the freaking redwoods. They already had it like on the website of like what redwoods you're gonna see. One where someone slept underneath Lieutenant Fremont, like that kind of shit, right? And then there was like, then you just YouTube it and then you find whatever trails around there.
Yeah.
Right. So I go do 2 miles, go as far as you can, and just turn around.
You
right?
know, I wonder if that's by this hiking trail called the Land of Medicine Buddha. Have you heard of that one?
What is it?
It's called the Land of Medicine Buddha. Oh,
Where's that at?
It's dope. It's up there. So
it's up there?
When you said Scotts Valley, I was like, man, that sounds familiar. But you could take like highway, or it's you take 17 right towards Santa Cruz, and at some point you veer off to the 1, and then you just take, I think it's like the first, second exit. You exit,
yeah,
and it's for it's like a Chinese medicine, a place for like for therapy and mental clarity and stuff. You go there and it's beautiful, bro. Like you go there's redwoods toppled over, there's little creeks of water, and
oh shit,
yeah, it's tight. It's really cool, but it's specifically made for like a like meditation.
Oh, okay.
So every like, I don't know, maybe like 30 to 50 yards, you're gonna find like a little meditation station where you go chill, meditate, and keep walking. You know, could be it. Could be it.
No, this ain't it.
No,
This ain't it. Cause like inside, outside of our little trail, bam, 4 bathing suits come walking out. Right. So yeah, so it was kind of cracking like that. Right. So boom, follow where they were coming from. Right. Like that's obviously instead of that trail that we were gonna do. Right. Let's just go check that out. You know. So end up jumping on a railroad track.
Yeah.
And it's like you go left. It looks like it's over the bridge. You go right. Seems like it's where you need to go.
That could be the place they call the Garden of Eden.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of that place.
It was is it a wild spot or?
It could be.
Cause I'm telling the kids when we leave, little white girl, little Indian girl is like, hey, you know where the garden is? And me and my wife are just like, yeah, follow them, you know? So, and we got there around 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. And we're just following. You're just looking down like, no, we can't go down that way. Can't go down that way. And then boom, you see the entrance of the Garden of Eden.
Yes, it's fun.
But I didn't realize, I mean, no disrespect. There was hella Indians at the Garden of Eden. Wow. Like college kids, Indians. Like the girls look like Kardashians. The dudes look like they played soccer, like they were like Mexican soccer players. Like they kind of have the fades, like the Mexican cats have, at least like in our baseball team.
Yeah.
Like same kind of little Jerry curl, same little mullet, you know. But it was hella people though.
Yeah,
hella people at the Garden of Eden. So that's where I stepped into on a Saturday in Felton. So, but I would definitely recommend though. I wonder what the ratings of this place is.
So it's turned into like from what I hear, it's like a party place now.
Yeah.
But back in the days, like people would go there because it's actually a beautiful place. Like you go there and there's like I don't want to say a bay of water, but there's like a not even a pond, just
it's
like
a pond where they're
something.
Jumping from cliffs and shit, and
damn,
you know, like freaking Indian dudes came in, like I smell some dank. I was like, dude, who's smoking? Right? I turn around and it was the Indian kid puffing away. I was like, fuck, you know. So
welcome to the Bay, bro.
Much love to the spot, man. I mean, it's cool. A little taqueria on the corner. So like even before or after going there, and it was a dope little spot. Definitely recommend, like, because there was kids there.
Yeah.
Families. It was everything you would think of just right there, dude. And the creek goes farther. But, yeah, that's what it's called. It's called the Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
My original assumption was wrong then, huh? Complete opposite.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was like wrong because when we were leaving, some Indian cats, you know what I mean, freaking had the big-ass speaker.
Oh, okay.
And this shit was slapping.
Oh, he's ready to party.
They're ready to party.
JBL party
and it was around 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna be out there till nighttime. Yeah.
That's crazy. So Dtension, tell me, man.
What's up,
what got you started? What started Dtension Fitness?
Man, Okay, we're gonna have to go back to about 2009. I had been attending a mission college for, at that time, 4 years, bro. I was just taking classes, classes, you know.
Yeah.
I remember when I graduated high school in '05, my pops was like, "You don't have to work full time. You just got to go to school full time." All right, cool. So I started attending classes and just taking everything, you know. I took, you know, general education, history, English, math, all this stuff, you know. And then I started just taking PE classes for fun, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, well, I'm gonna take a couple serious classes. I'm gonna take some PE classes too. I took a couple of sociology classes, took a little bit of everything. And then I finally reached a point one day when my sister was like, how many units do you have? So I don't know. I just come to school, you know, I take 12 units per semester. And she goes, man, you probably got like an AA degree or something. I was like, I probably do. So she's like, why don't you make an appointment with a counselor? And I'm like, I don't know. She goes, make one. All right, cool. So I made an appointment with a counselor, you know. And I go speak to a counselor. I go to find out I did have two AA degrees already.
Oh, shit.
And then on top of that, she goes, you know, you only need like one more class for this to transfer out. And she goes, you know, why don't you take it? I was like, yeah, I'll do it, you know. So I ended up taking the class. And then I set myself up to transfer out. At the time, this is 2009, 2010. We're going through a recession here.
Yeah.
So during the recession, in order to get into San Jose State, there was a wait list of a year and a half or a year. And I was on that wait list. So I'm like, man, what am I going to do for a year? You know, I got to take more classes. I've been taking classes for years now, you know. So long story short, I ended up enrolling into the fire agility program because Mission College is known for that.
Yeah.
And first day I'm going to go, I'm talking to one of my buddies at school, and he tells me, man, I'm going to join the personal trainers program. I was like, what? Personal trainers program? I didn't know they had one. So I go and I go to admissions office, and I find out that they do. They have it's called a fitness specialist program. It's like a year-long program, unit classes.
Yeah. And
I enrolled, man, and I finished up in about it took me like a year and a half though, because I started off in the fall versus I started off in the spring versus the fall. So I wasn't able to complete it in the year because I missed the first part of it. So upon completing it, I ended up getting a couple clients as you know, like personal training clients, and I just never went back to school, bro. Just rock with that, and I've been doing it ever since. I've been independent personal trainer here in Santa Clara for, gosh, man, that's a long time. So in 2010, so that's 15 years. But professionally, I started my own business in 2012. So that's man, that's like 14 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a minute. Man. And you've been working with teams, right? Like
yeah, a lot of teams, man. So it's funny because I started off doing weight loss, you know, specializing in that, and then slowly veered into your personal trainer. So it doesn't mean you specialize in everything. I always tell people like you specialize in certain things, but little by little I started working with athletes, man. I just found out it's funner, you know.
Yeah.
It's they're more motivated. They're just a different breed of people.
Yeah.
Like they have mental toughness. The physical aspects way funner. They can do different stuff, you know. So little by little I started doing college athletes. I started working with a lot of Mission College baseball players. Back when San Jose City was around, I was doing the San Jose City some of their athletes.
That's dope.
And then little by little, as of today, I've been specializing in recovery programs for softball teams.
Oh, nice.
Softball and basketball. So that's kind of my thing right now. I'm getting known for that coach who specializes in recovery. But funny thing is, this had to be like 2022. Coach George actually kind of was a spark of that. So I started training Georgie, Lil G.
Yeah.
And when I started training him, I had been doing research for years on like recovery, and I do it on myself, you know. And I was like, man, I'm gonna start hitting Georgie up because I think Georgie, what had happened, he had got injured, right, George?
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I can help him out because I had helped out a lot of clients with like certain injuries, you know. And I figured out, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this on Georgie, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna get better. And little by little, we started training him. We started strengthening him back up. I think he had I can't remember if it was a rotator cuff injury or it was a shoulder injury for sure.
Yeah.
And we helped him out. And little by little, it's just people started finding out like, man, he helped out George. Let me see if I can get some help from this guy. And little by little, you know, kind of led into that. So right now, I'm still doing personal training, but not so much. I'm more of like a health coach.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's multiple aspects that go into everything, right? There's the mental part. I believe in the spiritual part, the physical part, and then you add them all together. You make one. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm doing these days, Gil. I'm kind of just helping people out with the.
Do you see a difference of like working with like college students or college athletes and the high school athletes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah. I want to say once you reach the college level, your body's a little different.
Okay.
You're more developed.
Yeah.
Your body kind of from that age range from like 17 to like 19.
Yeah.
You grow in a weird way, and then I always say there's like levels to it. So like 18 to like 21, and then like 21 to like 23. There's like different maturity that happens to your body.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's scientifically proven. This is something that I've seen, through the experience of it. But I think so. I think college athletes perform a little bit. Probably they perform a little better.
Do you notice like do they ask you more questions? Like during your sessions, is it like a high school student or like a 7th or 8th grader? Are they nervous, to go and work out, or
no,
are they more confident as they get older? Or
I would say the younger they ask less questions.
Okay.
The older they do ask a little more questions. But they're more game to doing what you tell them, because they want to reach. Like when they get to college level, their dreams are different. They want to reach another level, and they realize that their window's small.
Right.
So I feel like that's when you get the questions, and they're willing to do extra.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what could I do the days I'm not here with you? What could I do to improve on this?
Yeah. As far as speaking from like a regular non-athlete, when people approach you or contact you, what's the number one thing they usually ask you about? Like, is it like the most people hit you up for like weight loss or meal prep? Like,
yeah, most of the time people want to lose weight, to be honest with you. But I always tell everybody that, because there's always the new keto, the new vegan, the new CrossFit exercise routine, but I always say it's all about building habits, bro. So I tell people that from a non-athletic aspect of this, if you wanted to reach a certain goal, you could do it with walking, as long as you ate perfect, right? But no one eats perfect. Yeah. So that's why we exercise, and we put in extra work with that. But in reality, it's all about building habits, and those habits, eventually those habits will turn into something that you do without even thinking of it. You wake up in the morning and you already know, like, you don't put carbohydrates in your body first thing in the morning. You put protein in your body first thing in the morning. You don't go drink a soda in the morning. You drink water in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So like,
those try to get better habits.
Yeah, exactly. Building better habits, and those habits eventually, that's what it is. It's a habit, right? You end up making good choices versus the bad choices.
I was even thinking, like, 'cause I'm an impatient person, so like my habits are kind of hard to work around.
Yeah.
Right. So this was what I was thinking. What's better, to walk around the block or ride a bike around the block?
That's a hard one, bro.
Is it a hard one?
Yeah.
Or is it the same?
No. You probably get more out of walking.
Okay.
But cycling, you get no impact. So
you get no impact.
Yeah. So you could think of this as, think of an 80-year-old person who's kind of struggling with their physical aspect of their body,
Yeah.
And it'd be easier for them. Well, I don't know. That's hard, bro. Because
I get what you're saying. It'd be easier for them to swim.
Yeah, because there's
no
impact.
Than
to
run. Right. So that's like another question. Would it be better if I swam in the pool or run around the block?
I think swimming
would probably be harder, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, because you're using every muscle in your body.
But my question was, because it's time consuming, if I wanted to walk from here to so-and-so, that's going to take me probably hour and a half. But if I jump on my bike, it's probably going to take me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Did I burn the same calories? Did the same amount get done?
No, I believe walking, you actually lose more calories from that, because you're actually using more than just your lower body. Your arms are going as well too, and
yeah,
that's what I think. I mean,
yeah. Well, it also depends on what you're going for. Like I heard the statistic the other day. I was on Instagram, maybe like a month ago, and it said that after the age of 30, only 80% of people will ever sprint again in their life. And I seen that.
After 30 years old?
30 years old.
Man, that's wild.
And I seen that, and I was like, that's crazy. I haven't sprinted in a couple months. You know, here's the thing. So every night, no matter what time of the day, no matter what day it is, I go for a 2-mile walk every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Sometimes people get a text from me at 3 a.m. like, what the hell? That's just me on my walk. I'm answering texts, checking my Instagram messages and all that, you know. But after I read that statistic, I said, I'm going to sprint tonight. So every night I go for a walk, but 3 times a week I do sprints. And then I don't do very far. I go street light to street light, and then I walk one street light to street light, right? Mm. But I've noticed a difference in my body since I've been doing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've gotten a little bit leaner. My legs got stronger. They got more defined and stuff, you know. But where I'm going with this is kind of like, what's your goal, right? So if your goal is to be lean and muscular, then you want to go for sprints. If you want to build conditioning and endurance, go for a long jog. You know what I'm saying? So and then if you want to avoid impact on your body, go for a swim, go for a walk. But they all work though. Everything
work, yeah.
Everything you do will work and do something different for your body. As long as you stay consistent with it and you eat the right diet. Mm. And that's the hardest part. That's like, I used to say 80%, but I want to say like 85% of how you look and how you perform could be diet.
Yeah.
You know? And then you don't see that. When you're young, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you benefit from it. But when you reach the college level, you start realizing that what you put in your body will affect the way you perform. But even some people still might get away with it in college. You're still young, you know?
I don't think so. I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Because especially like by high school, if you're not eating right, you're getting left behind.
Because
to me, that's where I see the difference of, like, let's just say the West Catholic League kids compared to like the public school kids that are competing with them. You're going to see the different sizes in the kids.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if they're just eating different or what, but in high school, you know, I feel like freaking some of those other guys are already looking like they're in college.
Yeah.
You know,
because
they're already on that college diet.
You got a good point. I noticed that that with kids that actually their parents feed them real food and not junk like Cheez-Its and Lunchables. Remember Lunchables back in the days?
Yeah.
Yeah, they for some reason they seem to perform a little bit better. But I mean, it makes sense though, right? You're putting the right stuff in your body. But at a young age, I feel like you can get away with that. But
don't you think, like, let's say that D1 athlete is probably having a nice breakfast, probably having a nice lunch. He could have a Lunchable between, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's balanced. Yeah,
right?
yeah. No,
but it's just, like you said, good habits and being consistent of that. Exactly. That's just what really amounts. Because I was talking to one of my kids, because a lot of our kids are not the biggest, 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, you know, but if you look at their parents are big. Yeah. And if you see the kind of the evolution of how this goes, these young little men are going to end up becoming men.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes that's 10th, 11th grade.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's that time.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's just like right now, when you're not into that body, is like trying to get the good habits of eating.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, and I didn't want to feel like I was like telling the lady how to raise a kid.
Yeah.
Because, you know, but it just, they got to get used to eating breakfast. Because that was the hardest thing with my kids, was sometimes we're on the go. You know, so it's hard at times. It was always having cooking breakfast, you know, and I doubt before his lunchtime at school, he's pulling out a peanut butter jelly sandwich that you want him to, right? Because, you know, he's hungry. Kids should be hungry. I was hungry. And then you got lunch. And then after lunch, you're not going into your bag to grab a protein bar. You know, a lot of these kids are not doing that. And then you have dinner, right? If you did all that running around, all that PE, all that baseball practice, is going to feel it to be muscle, right? Shouldn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but to me, the hardest part is doing all that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all I was just trying to explain to them is just, probably heard it from you guys. It's like they're going to do enough activity from being at school, from being at PE, being at practice, doing their little gym, you know, whatever. Because, like, what would I tell a 7th and 8th grader who's about to be 7th and 8th grade, Daniel, is when you go from a little field to the same field that your favorite Major League Baseball player is playing on.
Yeah.
So you're on a man's field, but you're 12, 13, 14 years old. So sometimes you're still have that little arm that played Little League. Well, now you're playing on the bigger field. You know, so what could I tell my kids that, like we said, going back to the question I asked you, that don't know nothing about the gym, that don't know nothing, even if they were to go to a gym, they wouldn't know what to do. Right? So I would just tell the kids, like, look, we're not the biggest, we're not the strongest. These are all my teams, all of our teams. Because they're just young. They're still. So I would just tell them, like, yo, if anything, let's just try starting off with 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, and 10 squats every night.
Super simple, yeah.
Super simple.
Yeah.
And then let's see if we can do, by next week we're at 25. Next week we're at 50. And sometimes I'll forget to tell them.
Yeah.
But you would hopefully, one of them were to do that, actually take it serious.
Hell yeah.
You know, and actually do that, you know. But would that be right just to tell a 7th and 8th grader, 6th grader, to just make sure we can be able, because I got one kid, like, we got one kid on our 12s, not the most athletic, not the most coolest, probably the smartest kid I ever coached, dude. Just kid's a genius, you know. And dude jumped on a pole and was like this, ski. Did like 10, 15 pull-ups like that. And all the other kids who are super athletic, hitting home runs, throwing 100 miles per hour, you asked them to do that, probably couldn't do one.
Yeah.
You know, so there's some that are listening.
Yeah.
You know, and realistically, it's just, you know, as they get older and they have those good habits, like you're saying, it's going to click a little bit more faster. But I wish our kids that we coach, our goal is to try to have them what they want to be looking like in college to be looking like their freshman, sophomore year.
Gotcha.
You know, and how or what's the best advice I could give them, and that's all I would just tell them to do. You know? If not, well, like, what age would you recommend where just like, yo, I'm telling a parent, like, yo, this is the age, this is the summer where you need to go get a gym pass.
Yeah.
Because like one place was doing like free gym pass for the summer for high school kids.
Oh, that's tight.
You know?
Yeah.
But like, what's too early, would you say?
Well, for physical activity, I don't think no age is too early, bro.
Yeah.
I think that calisthenics are great for kids. I think, like, when you ask me at what age like they should join a gym, I think high school. I think as soon as you hit that freshman year, your body's maturing.
Yeah.
And you can start just going around messing around with machines and lifting them and pushing them around, because I mean, you could do a machine wrong, right? But for the most part, a machine guides itself. You're just loading weight on there and you're pushing it. And it's as long as your joints are lined up with every machine in a gym typically has these, I don't know what you call them, but they're almost like pivot points, and they have red dots. So next time you see a machine, pay attention to it, and it's basically where your joints go. Yeah. So when you sit down, there'll be like a pivot point by where your elbows are at, and that's where you push your arms out for like a bench press, right?
Yeah.
And then for like a leg extension machine, like you sit down, look at it, it'll have like nowadays are yellow, red, but there's like these little dots on the machines, and that's where your knee should be lined up with, right?
Yeah.
So you almost can't do a machine wrong. As like you can just YouTube it real fast, like, all right, how do I use a gym machine?
Exactly.
In like 2 minutes, they'll teach you how to use the machine. It's super simple.
Yeah.
But for kids, like really young kids, calisthenics. And but even as you reach a college level, calisthenics will work good, bro. Because like you said, sometimes you have a kid who is throwing heat, and they're just good athletes, but you put them on a pull-up bar and they can't do a pull-up or even a push-up.
Yeah.
But it's because your body gets conditioned to what you condition it to, right? So if you never do a pull-up, you can't really expect to hop on a pull-up bar and do a pull-up, right? If you never do like lunges, you can't expect to go out there and do a lunge and not be sore the next day because your body's not conditioned to it. It's like this. Going back to my story, I told you guys how I read a statistic about, after the age of 30, only like 80% of people will sprint ever again, right? So that kind of sparked off. Prior to that, I went for a jog, and I'm pretty physically fit. I exercise every day. It's always something different. I do boxing. I jog. I lift weights 3-4 times a week. I walk every day. If someone has a swimming pool, I go swimming. I'll do anything physical. I try to do something for my health every day. here's kind of a funny story. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's funny. I decided to go for a jog one day. I was gonna switch it up today. I haven't been jogging in a long time, so I decided to run the block in my area. It's kind of by Levi Stadium, and the block is it's a perfect 1.5 miles.
Nice.
I go jog it. I'm about 25% in. I'm huffing and puffing. I was like, damn. I was like, I can't believe I can't run a mile. I mean, I ended up running the whole mile super slow, but it was bad. I was like, man, I gotta do better than that.
Yeah.
So the next day I go out there and I'm competing with myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna beat my time. I don't want to even tell you guys my time.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask.
yeah.
I was gonna ask. I was like, no, I don't ask.
So I go back and I beat my time by 2 minutes the next day. Like, all right, cool. I'm gonna rest up.
Yeah.
So I start doing it, little by little. Like I was like, okay, I can't do it every day, but let me do this every other day. Long story short, I ended up getting my mile time down to I think it was 7:02, which is pretty damn good, bro.
Yeah, that's really good.
I'm about 6 foot, 6'1", anywhere from 195 to 200. So I'm not that small of a guy, I got some weight on me, and
So 7:02 was like your average?
No, that was my best. That was my best time I did. But then after that, I haven't really jogged ever since. I started sprinting after that. But
How hard? You're talking about patience. How do you not want to say I'm 6:59?
I wish,
That's 3 seconds, right?
I don't think I've ever done a 6 minute even.
Yeah, no, I'm more of maybe if the high 7s, 8s when I was a kid.
Yeah. No, it's hard. Because even as a kid, when they used to make us run the track at school, I was always those 10-minute mile kids.
Yeah.
I was in the 10-minute range.
Yeah,
and
same here.
It wasn't until I became a grown-up that I became competitive with myself.
Okay.
And it's this weird it's this weird competitiveness that I have that I try to do better than I did yesterday.
Yeah.
So every night I say a prayer, and in my prayers I always say, "Make me a better person tomorrow than I was today."
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know if that's a competitiveness in me. I don't know where I got that from, but I don't know. I just say that. But I never really became competitive until I got older.
Yeah.
Because I think I realized that every day is an opportunity to make yourself the best version of yourself, right? And I think that goes hand in hand with my prayer, going back to saying, make me a better person than I was yesterday. I just want to be better. Every day I strive to be better. And every day I do something to improve my mental, physical, and spiritual health, But going back to that story real fast, so I finally beat my mile time, And after I beat it, I stopped running. So now I'm doing sprints again, right?
Yeah.
So I started off with doing 2 sprints, 3 sprints. So now I'm up to 5 sprints, right? But it's eventually eventually I'll get tired of it. All right, I'm done with it. I'm gonna do something else, But every day I do something to improve my physical health too, But yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where that competitive comes from, and I'm pretty honest with myself though, because I could have said a 6:59, right? It's right there.
Yeah,
I'm super competitive too. I really had no choice because my dad was always competitive since I was young. Then if I did go out and be active in the streets, it was against George and my uncles. They're all older than me. Than basketball, football on the street, I was playing with them, so I had to be competitive with them too. So still to this day, I'm still competitive. Even with my son JJ, I still never let him win with everything. I don't want to make him the same way.
I was just telling somebody the other day because they asked me how long I've known you for. I was like, man, I've known Gil for a long time. I was like, and we might have not even known who we were at the time, but my auntie used to babysit me on Amethyst when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I used to come outside every now and then, and I'd see this kid flipping a football around. I was like, man, he's going to play catch with me if I ask him, And we didn't even talk, Gil, but I don't even know if you remember this, bro. I went out in the front, and I was just kind of chilling, and you were a few houses down, maybe 5 houses down.
No, it was actually 3.
3? And I just walked in the middle of the street, and you just chucked the ball at me. And before you know, we're just chucking that ball back and forth, the football, right? And that same day, a football game broke out in the front, and we were all playing. But I remember it was funny because even when we were younger, you always treated me like a little brother because I was smaller than you guys. You guys were way bigger than me at the time. I didn't really grow until I got to high school. I was always like an average sized kid. And then once I hit high school, I kind of had a growth spurt. I got about 6 foot, But I remember we were playing. It got rough out there, bro. And then you're like, hey, don't worry about it. You were treating me like a little brother, It was funny, man. I think back to that, bro, I must have been 10.
Yeah, no, it's kind of our mutual friends that we have. We actually know each other longer than any of the friends we have.
Yeah.
There was some classic games on Amethyst, man. I remember when
it was
so and so pushed so and so inside the car in the end zone, and his arm went through the
Tootsie Roll
inside the Tootsie Roll's car. Yeah,
that was Michael, wasn't it?
Yeah, Michael went through the Tootsie Roll. Yeah,
I'm fishing like an old brown car.
Little pass interference. Yeah. And then I remember one of our guys caught the ball and went out of bounds in the sidewalk, and fucking his knee went in shit. So that's when back in the day where you didn't have like the bag to pick up your dog shit, right?
That wasn't a thing yet.
No, it wasn't a thing yet. So yeah, there was still shit on his knee.
It's funny because I on my walks actually every night I walk by this house in my neighborhood, and every time I walk in front of it, I see like they have like a bush, and there's like 10 to 15 green bags. I'm assuming they walk their dog around the block and they let it shit anywhere, and the neighbors had it. They pick it up with the green bag because they have the little green bag things in the neighborhood, and they put it on his front lawn. So every time I walk by, like, damn, this guy hasn't picked up another dog shit like that.
Damn, they picked up his own shit.
Yeah, it's messed up, bro.
That's the worst.
Daniel, let me ask you something real quick about weight loss. What you actually think about this? Do you believe in the whole fasting, keto, vegan stuff, or are you traditional? Eat clean, lose weight.
Yeah, I mean, it like I said, everything works. Eat clean, lose weight. Fast, lose weight. It all depends. It's all about consistency. I'm a firm believer. If you set your mind to it, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to achieve it by going vegan, you can damn right achieve it by being vegan. Right. If you want to go achieve it by exercising, you could achieve it by exercising and not really dieting. But you'll only get so far that way. Right. But yeah, bro. And when it comes to fasting, I do believe in it. I've tried everything from being vegan to being vegetarian to carnivore diets. I've done them all. And it's funny, I have pictures of myself with every single different diet I've done, and I physically look different in all of them.
Oh, really?
And going back,
which one actually made you feel the best, though?
Oh, bro. So that's my next thing. In 2016, the end of 2016 to the beginning of 2017, I went vegan for 6 months. Bro, I looked I looked crazy. I go back and look at pictures of myself. It's like, good Lord, like I look like a G.I. Joe. Yeah. And I don't know what it was. Maybe because prior to that, I had been maybe possibly bulking without realizing it. But I cut a ton of fat and I was super lean and athletic. I performed good. My skin looked different. My eyes, bro. People would talk to me and be like, man, why are your eyes so white? So the white part around your eyes turned white.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because from what I was eating, I have no idea. But I just remember feeling and performing differently when I was vegan. Yeah. And when I say perform, just like I said, I'm competitive. So, at that time, I think I was doing long distance running and weightlifting like 3 days a week. But not for no competition, not for anybody, just for myself, But I remember the way I performed then, and I just remember being real fast, and maybe because I was lean. I was about, at the time, 205 was really lean for me because I had a different build at the time. But yeah, being vegan, bro. But everything works as long as you stay to it, you stay consistent with it, and you take it serious. Like if you really want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah. But then again, each one of those will actually work for each person differently, though, right?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So there's not one recipe for every person, right? So it's funny because with personal training, bro. How many years is that, Gil? So I've been doing it professionally since 2012. We're in 2015. What is that? That's we're in 2025. 13 years. 13 years professionally. So with doing it 13 years, ask me the question one more time. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there trying to calculate that.
Each person does.
You're talking about vegan.
Okay.
Special diets.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So there's not one recipe for every person, bro. So basically, everybody's gonna react different to certain things. And with personal training, what I've learned with all those years of experience is that you can't really walk in a gym and expect everybody to do the same thing, right? Because people will react differently to training, to eating, And it even falls back down to having like health issues and stuff like that. You know, certain people can't do physical activity to a certain point because they might actually pass out. Their blood sugar will get low, you know? Yeah. So there's not one recipe, bro. Everything's trial and error. And no one will tell you this because everybody wants to make the big bucks, right? Everybody wants to be like, hey, I got the formula for weight loss. Well, the formula is there is no formula. The formula is figuring out what works for you and staying consistent with it. And then figuring out what works for you is time consuming. You might not even figure that out within a month or two. It might actually be like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year, 2 years to realize, damn, like I can't eat that stuff. When I eat that stuff, I feel like shit, you know? I got a funny story. So my nephew, his name's Beans. We call him Beans. His name's Nolan. He's been staying with me for the summertime. And man, I love that kid, bro. He's like a spitting image of me and my older brother as far as his habits go. He just copies everything we do. He's just a sponge, you know? I took him to get some boba the other night. Summer vacation. He wanted some boba. So let's go get some boba, you know? And we went, and after he goes, man, I'm kind of hungry. I said, what you want to eat? He goes, man, I really like he's like, I would really like a McDonald's hamburger. I go, Beans, that's not good for you, man. He goes, come on, it's summer vacation. Yeah, let's go, you know? I took him. He didn't even want that. He just wanted to go. And when we got there, he's like, man, some chicken nuggets would be nice. Let's get some chicken nuggets, you know? So I ended up getting him some chicken nuggets, you know? And these kids, bro, they don't eat much. Like he maybe had like a bite of one, and because he had been eating real food all day, you know? Yeah. So he probably wasn't hungry. He just wanted the feeling of knowing that if he wanted some McDonald's, his uncle was gonna take him, you know? Yeah. So we went, got a chicken nuggets. He didn't finish them. Long story short, like Coach George said, every now and then you could reward yourself with like the Snickers bar or what you were talking about, you know? Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Let me have a little chicken nugget. So I got his chicken nugget, dipped in barbecue sauce. I ate it. And, you know, 1 turned to 2, 2 turned to 3 is a 6-piece. I ended up eating them all, right? And, bro, I felt like shit the next day.
Really?
Yeah, I felt bad. I don't know if it was a mental thing or it was a physical. I felt sluggish. So, you know, every day, bro, I pretty much eat anything that's either from a plant, an animal, or a tree. So I eat fruits, vegetables, and proteins, meats. Yeah. It's kind of what I eat, you know. I don't really eat too much junk. I like junk, don't get me wrong. You know, everybody likes junk, but I try to stick in that range, you know. And that day I just felt like it was heavily chemically like enhanced or something because I felt like crap, bro.
The pink goo.
Yeah, something. So the next day I go back to my regular habits. You know, it took me a day to go back, and I felt good the next day. You know, after I drink my organic black tea and matcha that I drink in the mornings, and then my eggs. I eat eggs almost every morning, bro. People trip out when I tell them I eat like anywhere from 6 to 10 eggs every day in the morning.
Really? In one shot?
Every day, bro. One shot.
So how is that possible? Like you make an omelet, like a 12-egg omelet?
No, so sometimes like honestly, I just
you just shoot them?
No. I cook them like kind of like a sunny side up. I just eat them like that. I like them like that, and I kind of eat them all in one bite though.
So like sunny side up, is that like the bubble egg?
Yeah. So you have the yolk on top.
Yolk on top.
Yeah. Or over easy, you know, over easy. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I eat them. I eat them in one shot, and it's funny though because I always tell people, like I see people go eat breakfast, they'll have like one egg, like yo, that's only like 2 grams of protein. That's nothing. Like each egg only consumes 2.5 to 3 grams of protein per egg. So that's why I was like, I can eat like 12 of these bad boys. Or, yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me to eat eggs. I made some the other day. I tried went to Freedom Meat Locker and got like this deal, and it came with like their fucking bacon, and their bacon was thick.
Yeah.
My bacon might be bad. Is bacon bad to eat?
Nah, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, right?
So it was like a 1/4 inch thick. It was fire, right? And I'm trying to figure out what else I did with it. And then I made some eggs. I made some eggs, and it was just hard for me to get into it. Yeah. You know, it was probably 4 eggs, and you know, it was just add a little sausage, had that bacon, but. Man, that'd be hard for me to eat 12 eggs.
That's not every day though. It's average from 6 to 12.
6 to 12.
I don't eat in the morning.
No.
I can't.
Yeah.
I feel weird. I get nauseous.
Well, that goes back to fasting. So you're probably naturally fasting every day. So from your last meal the night before, all the way till you eat the next day, that's considered a fast, right?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was at that point at one time. As like being a carpenter, it's like. You're eating 6 o'clock dinner, or sometimes it's like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. but we ain't eating until 11.
Yeah.
So if we ain't eating at 6 and 7, 7 to 7 is 12. We're talking 16 hours.
Yeah.
From 7 to 11.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
That's a decent little. What is it? Fasting?
A fast, yeah.
Fasting, yeah.
So these.
But is that okay?
Yeah. So I do a lot of research on fasting and stuff. I'm actually I feel best when I fast. I don't do it though because it takes a lot of mental toughness, and I like to eat, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like to eat. I eat real food. My mom cooks delicious traditional Mexican food, and my girlfriend, she's a chef. So you got to imagine, like, I'm getting fed like a king. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything you could think of, I've had, from Italian foods, Mexican food, to just every French foods and everything. Yeah. So, but I will tell you this: when I do like a fast, without trying to, like, sometimes it just happens, right? You got a busy morning, you don't eat. I feel great, bro. I get hungry, but eventually when I eat, I was like, man, I feel lean right now. Like, even though I ate a lot of food, like, I feel lean. But they say that when you fast, your body eventually gets to a point. I mean, this gets to the point where it's I want to say it's like an advanced fast, right? Let's say there's people that do like 30-day fasting, which is crazy. I couldn't do that. But people that do that, they say eventually your body reaches a point where it has nothing to. So sickness in your body has nothing to feed off of. But what it does, it starts eating your bad cells.
Yeah.
The stuff that's causing like arthritis, autoimmune diseases and stuff like that. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert at that, but I notice that with myself. When I fast, I do feel different.
Yeah.
And I do feel good, lean, and I perform good too. Performance can be anything from your day-to-day activity when you're at work and not feeling sluggish that day. Like, yo, man, I feel good. Like, you feel like you a little pep in your step.
Yeah.
And I believe everybody's an athlete, and I treat everything like a workout.
Yeah.
So I recently went to go do a landscaping job with one of my best friends, Miguel, and he's like, hey, man, my uncles love the way you work. I was like, for real? I go, I'll give you my little secret.
Yeah.
I go, anything I do in life, bro, I do it to the best of my ability. I was like, and I treat everything like a workout. I go hard, bro. And he's laughing. He's like, for real? Like, yeah, hell yeah. You just see me running up there, grabbing branches, tossing them back in the truck, I was like, I just treat everything like a workout. And I think I got that from my older brother. I would see him do things, and it's almost like an urgency to finish fast, but being effective at the same time, So, yeah, I feel like everybody's an athlete, and then you could treat everything you do in life like if it's like a big game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, definitely. So what motivates you to keep on doing this though? Like, is there a point where, I'm not saying like you ever just want to give up, but it's like, does it ever get tiring, or do you get the thrill of helping the people that come to you and seeing their success, or you seeing their body gain change? Is that what motivates you to keep on doing this?
That's a good question, bro. Motivation. I think my dad, bro. I think my dad instilled that in me as a kid. I'm a productive machine, bro. So like, I take pride in a day. My to-do list is what people typically, like, in one day's to-do list is what people's weekly to-do list is usually, right? So my motivation is that life's short. I'm only here for a limited of time, and when I'm here, for the time that I'm here, I want to be able to leave, not necessarily even a legacy, but just I want someone to remember and be like, damn, Daniel was a man. Like he did this, and that. He knew how to use tools. He was handy, but he also knew how to work with athletes. He could work on a car. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I just feel like my motivation is just being productive, bro. It's every day being able to scratch something off that list. But eventually, it's gonna get to the point where I can't do that, though, right? Like, you can only be productive to a certain extent. But when all else fails and I can't be productive physically, then I'll find another way to do it. Mentally, or being able to coach kids through another aspect of life. It doesn't always have to be physical. It could be mental.
I think you really do get that from your dad, because your father was like that. He always had that impression on everybody. You come from a family that's really really respectful.
Appreciate
Everybody's
that,
very polite.
Yeah,
Your family will do anything for anybody. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
you're the exact same way. So I think that's why I always
Appreciate
tell
that.
everybody, he's the perfect ideal trainer. You don't judge anybody if they come to you. If they're overweight, whatever it may be, I never heard you judge anybody.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I think that's really cool the way that you do it.
Appreciate that, bro. Yeah.
Before we get out of here, what's the easiest way people could contact you?
Oh, man, usually through, I would say Instagram, bro. It's funny. Sometimes I check my Instagram messages more than my texts. And it's because I'm on there, right? And I'm always trying to create content for my Dtension Fitness page, right?
Yep.
So my handle is at Dtension Fitness, right? And that's probably the easiest way to contact me, bro. Sometimes I'll get a text from somebody like, yo, bro, or a message on Instagram like, yo, I sent you a text, like, bro, my bad. And I'll go and I'll text them back, and then I'll message them back on Instagram like, yo, I just text you back. So that's probably like the most efficient way to get a hold of me. That and texting, But believe it or not, bro, I'm more of a phone call type of person. So I hit the road a lot. I do outdoor boot camps in South San Jose. Shout out to the San Jose Spartans. I do the recovery sessions for them after every tournament. So I hit the road, and every time I hit the road, I hop on my call log, and I'm like, okay, I haven't talked to this person. Let me call them. Boom, and I make my calls when I'm driving.
Yeah.
So it's hard it's actually like sometimes people will text me and they won't get a text back for a couple of days, bro. It's bad, and sometimes it'll be late night, like 3 a.m. Like, why is Daniel texting me right now? It's because I don't prioritize my texts as much as I do like my Instagram messages, because that's my business, and I treat that more like you would think of a web page back in the days.
Yeah.
It's my own personal web page. I'm on it all day, and then now that I'm saying that, I better answer everybody's DMs nowadays, right? But through Instagram, bro.
That's for sure. One more question, man. I see you, talking about cheat meals and stuff that you like. I see you always posting for the burritos, man.
Oh,
what's your favorite burrito spot?
Bro. So here's the thing. The reason I'm able to do that is because the habits I do build, right?
Yeah.
So, 9 out of 10 times I'm eating healthy, right? Yeah. So then come like, let's say I've gone Monday through Thursday, I eat nothing but rabbit food, bro. Yeah. Hella strawberries, cherries, blueberries. I love that stuff, right? Steaks, chickens. Well, come Friday, I'm like, man, there's no reason why I can't go get a burrito, Yeah. So my favorite burrito spot, and I've been everywhere. So at one point during the pandemic, I wasn't trying to go dine in indoors anywhere, so I started doing food trucks. Fell in love with it, bro. I go to figure out that food trucks sometimes got better food restaurants. Yeah. And my all-time favorite out of all the spots I've been to the East Bay, I've been to LA. There's a place in San Jose off of Story and White called Taco Chenchos. Bro, I get a super burrito with tripas dorados. So the tripas is intestines, bro. Yeah. But when they fry it so fried that it's like bacon. Oh, it's my favorite, bro. That's my favorite burrito spot.
I never tried that.
Oh, dude, it's amazing, dog. It's hands down. I take everybody there, but I recently discovered a new spot, and I like it almost the same, and it's a total different dish too. There's another spot they make these this dish. It's like what equivalent to what a Crunchwrap Supreme would be like at Taco Bell.
Oh shit!
But it's the real thing though. They actually have like a slab of carne asada instead of like the ground beef that Taco Bell uses, Oh man, that's good too. now I'm having trouble comparing those, But yeah, that's my Taco Chencho's tripas burrito is my go-to.
Nice.
Hands down number one, bro.
So at that spot, are the other burritos good? Like if I go there and just get carne asada, or is it?
See, that's a funny thing is, I used to think they were, but I recently went and I got a carne asada just for the hell of it, and I didn't like it, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So what I figured out is that every place has their specialty, right? And like I figured out, I know a spot where you can get carne asada and it's fire, but then when you get carne asada at Taco Chencho's, not to hate them, I didn't think it was that good. Yeah. But their tripas, no one beats it.
Yeah.
And I've been to other spots and I get tripas, it's like, that was made, that was
that's
all right.
Important, because I went over there to buy a carne asada burrito. I'm like, damn, detention. Detention.
What is a good carne asada burrito spot is it's called El Gruense in Redwood City, and I remember their carne asada being hella flavorful and juicy.
Yeah, the El Grulienses, you can't go wrong.
You can't, no. It's a good place.
It just says El Gruliense, whatever number I'm ordering it.
I think the one I was talking about is in number one. So there's, because in Redwood City, I think there's two of them.
Yeah.
I think it's number one. Oh, man, that place is good.
Yeah, last time Mel played out there, we went in some little hood and had a El Grilliense.
That was probably the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's across. Is it across the street from like another? It's kind of like industrial
There
area.
was just like a lot of glass windows. You know, might have been on El Camino.
Oh, okay. That's number 2.
Yeah, that's number 2.
Still good though.
Yeah,
it's still good. Yeah.
That was number 2.
That's number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, those been hitting, man.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I regret, D, and this wasn't kind of like a pitch at all from these guys, but there was a time where it was either just baseball kids, go do some shit with the family. Didn't have nothing to do, really, no hanging out, right? Yeah. So these guys had season tickets to the Raiders, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't a pitch, but it was like, yo, you might see Andolino in Detention.
Yeah.
You know, so 2-3 years into it, I end up getting some season tickets and never ran into you. You know? So,
oh, man.
Did you guys have season tickets?
Did.
Because this is right by us.
Yeah.
Right?
The next section.
We've seen you guys every game.
Not once did we ever run, because you missed a lot.
Yeah.
I seen a guy, because I explained to these guys earlier in the podcast, we're there, 420'd out, having a few beers, and Ish and Fish, it was like 2 barbecue masters kind of going at it,
no way,
but not going at it.
Yeah.
But it was just like, yo, he brought this week, and then he brought this week. Nice. So it was the best food we were eating.
Yeah.
Right? And one time, like, it was the type of thing where, like, maybe if Fish brought the bacon wrapped
jalapeno
poppers.
Yeah.
The next week, Ish is bringing bacon wrapped shrimp.
Right? You gotta outdo him.
So that's what you missed out on.
Man.
That's what you missed out on.
Yeah.
But one time, we seen a guy drop his shrimp.
Yeah.
On the Oakland A's parking lot.
Yeah, that's grimy.
He picked it up and ate it. Right, Gilly? He did.
You know how many thousands of people have?
Yeah, whatever. Forever.
Dang.
Right? But he survived.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. He survived. Right? Because the other day, Fish gave me some food, and it was a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, nice.
And I was like, oh, shit, it's in the car.
Yeah.
I go get it. It was all fell over on the floor.
Oh,
not on the floor, on my seat. Right?
Yeah.
So I just swooped it up and cooked it.
Nice.
Right, dude? I'm from the 80s. I got the iron gut.
I
got an iron gut, you know? And then look, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Right? But the floor of the Oakland A's Coliseum, couldn't do it.
That's funny, man. I got a weak stomach nowadays. Like, maybe it's because of my habits, right? Because I eat clean most of the time.
We seen Gorilla Rilla.
Oh, no way.
We seen Andy Reid getting booed.
No way, yeah.
Yeah, dude. You're not ever hanging out with us.
I think you guys were section 305, right? Was it 305?
303, you guys are 304.
Okay, because we were 304.
Yeah.
And every game, I would actually see you guys. Because we're up top. We were one row away from the big Jumbotron, the screen. And we used to pound on the wall. Boom, 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 you know?
Yeah, because the Jumbotron was behind us.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So it was big, though, because it did the 2 sections. And I would look down like, dude, that's Gil, George, Fish, Choch. You guys were always there.
Always there.
But you guys were one section, and you guys are almost in the front of that section.
Yeah.
But we would see you guys.
Middle
But
front,
what happened is that, man, I'm a night owl. I've always been.
Yeah.
I've had the same sleeping habits for like 20 years now, bro. It ain't changing.
Oh, so you weren't getting up at 6 a.m. to meet
No
us.
way.
Yeah.
No. So we would leave here like, shoot, the games are at 105. We'd get there like right at 1.
Nice.
We'd park, and my brother, like, sometimes we would stop and get something to eat. Sometimes we wouldn't, but we would pretty much just gather everything up, just march in there, bro, as fast as we could get there, and we would get there with like 6 minutes into the first quarter. So we never really watched the
kickoff.
You never watched the game from
a few times. But I remember
fireworks go out.
The time we did watch
the guy light the full torch.
Oh, so we caught that a few times. So the one game that I do remember, we've seen everything. It had to be a Thursday night game versus Kansas City, and it was raining like crazy.
The white jerseys?
Bro, I want to say we whooped their ass, too, that night. I want to say the Raiders won. It was a Thursday night game. Yeah, bro, that was epic. Everyone went crazy in the stadium, you know? But, we never really went and tailgated because we just never got there on time. But I will tell you this. After we would leave, we would go to, I don't know if it's called International or E14, and we will go to some taqueria spot.
No way.
Yeah, oh, bro. It was, I don't even think they were Mexican. I think they were like, they served burritos. I know burritos is like a Mexican-American dish.
Yeah.
But I want to say they were like from Honduras. Damn. And they served some bomb burritos, bro. And we used to go there after the games, you know. Thinking back at it, though, bro, we would park in the neighborhood. It was a bad neighborhood. And I mean, we never got messed with.
Yeah, most def. Yeah.
Oh, it was bad though, because we used to walk blocks just to get there. We would get our food and go to find out. Like now, this is 2016, 2015. I don't know what year it was. Going back, like a lot of people get in trouble going.
International's cracking. You definitely don't want to be out there after.
Especially at night. And it was dark, dude. Night. Dark. Yeah.
That's crazy. I might even think that's better than El Chacho's.
It was amazing. You know what I like? I like spicy foods, and they would get they had this. So you know how you could serve yourself like your own salsas at places.
Yeah.
So they had a salsa bar.
Yeah.
And then on that salsa bar, they had like purple cabbage mixed in with habanero slices.
Yeah.
Bro, you eat that, you're on fire. It was hot, but it was so hot it would make you sweat. And we used to go there after games just to get that burrito with the habanero slices. But it was one of those things like you eat it and you almost instantly regret it. It's so spicy. But it was good though. So
it's not really enjoyable then. Like
I enjoy that though.
I only had one time where it was enjoyable, where like you could actually feel the flames coming out of you.
That's happened to me before. That's happened.
It's really happened.
Yeah.
Dude.
You feel that your nose.
I don't know what I ate, but I felt like Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
that flame was coming out of my ears.
Oh, that happens, bro. That's happened to me. Right here in downtown Sunnyvale, there's a place called Firehouse. I think it was on the corner, and they had. I don't know why. I used to drink a lot of beer when I was younger, and we went there to drink some beers, and my buddy's like, "Hey, man, Daniel eats spicy foods. I bet you he can do the challenge." I was like, "Man, I don't want to do the challenge, bro." He said, "Just do it, bro. I bet you can do it. You're a tank." All right, whatever. So we ordered some wings, bro, and I don't know what the flavor was called. Let's call it Infierno or something, like demon or something. I got it just for the hell of it. Oh, I regretted it, bro. And I eat spicy food. Just like George said, I felt heat coming out of my nose, my ears, my mouth, everywhere, bro. And that was the last time I was like, I ain't never doing one of these chicken wing challenges again.
I remember when they had the Cluck You by the university.
Yeah.
I seen dudes in there and do that challenge before.
Yeah,
and they used to run out and go to Safeway and chug gallons of milk on site, like on the floor, spilling everywhere. Yeah, because milk is what brings down the heat.
Yeah, you have the dairy because if you do water and oil don't mix, and the chili is usually like an oil, so it won't mix. When you're a kid, you see oil spill on the ground, you try to spill like a water ball in there, it just doesn't mix. They just kind of split apart. Same concept.
Nah, that's fucking crazy. Fuck that. All right, Coach G, before we got here, any last questions, any last thoughts for D?
Nothing, man. I don't know if we were talking about, I'll just finish this last one with you. Kershaw, did we talk about Kershaw's 3,000?
No, we didn't say.
Well, just a little fact. The most teams he struck out were the San Francisco Giants.
I love it. It's the greatest thing
and
ever.
The four guys, the highest guy, I asked one of my Giants friends, some of my kids that were Giants fans, I was asking this same question. And they're like, I was like, which team do you think? They're like, the Giants. So they picked the team. Mm-hmm. It was pretty cool. And I was like, well, who do you think he struck out the most? Right? And there was four guys. The top four guys were Giant guys. And they picked the top 2, 3, and 4. And the top 2, 3, and 4 was like Posey was 4. I think Sandoval was 3. I think maybe their shortstop, Brandon Crawford, was number 2. But guess what bum was number 1?
Bumgarner.
No, that Kershaw struck out the most.
Out of every team or just
out of the most he struck out of 3,000 guys, he struck out one guy the most, and he's on the Giants. And actually the first 4 guys were from the Giants. I'll make it quick. He's a lefty.
Polanco?
Brandon Stinking Belt.
Brandon, he always strikes out.
It was 30 strikeouts. Kershaw struck his ass out. Good. 30 times.
I'm so glad.
So that was a cool one. I thought about you. I was like, good. I like that one.
I love that.
Yeah.
That was the greatest thing.
Yeah. But when I told the kids Brandon Belt, they're like, how did I not get that?
Yeah, he swings at everything. Yeah, fuck that guy.
But hell yeah, right on.
All right, Daniel, appreciate you coming through, man.
Appreciate you guys, man. This is it's an honor to be here, bro. This is fun, man.
Hell yeah, that's just dope.
Appreciate it, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're out of here for episode 20, and we'll catch you next week, episode 21. And we out.
20 twin.